My life was a catalog. I am an academic archivist. My world is acid-free boxes, humidity-controlled rooms, and the profound, beautiful silence of things that have outlived the people who made them. My job is not to interpret. My job is to preserve. I am the guardian of facts. I protect history from the messiness of opinions. My world, in short, is very, very quiet. So when the university told me that Dr. Leo Vance was being given a 2-month residency in my special collections, I didn't just object, I almost resigned. Leo Vance, the pop historian, the guy with the best-selling books and the slick, fast-talking Netflix docu-series. He wasn't a historian, he was a storyteller, which, in my world, was a 4-letter word. He took our careful, footnoted research and turned it into a sexy, dramatic, and often wrong narrative. He was all charisma and grand theories. I was all footnotes and white cotton gloves. He was, in every conceivable way, my professional nemesis. And I was now his designated handler. He arrived on a Monday, not with a research assistant, but with a documentary film crew. He blew into my quiet, hallowed, 19th century reading room like a small, leather-jacketed hurricane. He was all energy, fast talk, and a smile so charming it felt like a weapon. "You must be Dr. Gray," he said, his voice way too loud. He didn't offer to shake my hand, which was good, because I wouldn't have taken it. "I'm Leo. This place is incredible. It's like a tomb in a good way. We're gonna get some great B-roll. This is a research facility, Dr. Vance, not a film set," I said, my voice as cold and dry as the vellum in the next room. "There will be no filming, and all requests for materials must be submitted in triplicate 48 hours in advance." Leo just grinned at me, a blindingly white, infuriating grin. "Right. Triplicate. Love it. Look, I'm not here to mess up your morgue, man. I'm here for the lost letters of Governor Thorne. You know the ones? The ones he supposedly wrote to his mistress? I think they're not to his mistress. I think they're to his political rival. I think they're treason. That's the narrative I'm building." I just stared at him. He was starting with a narrative. He was a treasure hunter, not a researcher. "You will submit your request," I said, "like everyone else." For the next week, we were at war. He'd submit a request, and I'd fulfill it to the letter. I'd bring him the one box he asked for, and I'd watch him from my desk as he pawed through it. He didn't use the phone book rests. He leaned on the documents. He'd mutter to himself. He was loud. He was messy. He was everything I hated. "This is useless," he'd call across the room. "These are just shipping manifests. Where's the good stuff, Gray? Where's the story?" "The collection is what it is," I'd call back. "We do not deal in good stuff. We deal in primary sources." "You're a dragon, you know that?" he said, leaning back in his chair, a move that made my heart stop. "Sitting on a pile of gold, just because you like how it feels to be quiet. History isn't meant to be preserved, man. It's meant to be used. You are one coffee cup away from being permanently banned from this room," I said. And I meant it. The fight came to a head on a Friday. He had, through sheer, obnoxious persistence, worn me down. I had finally given him access to the crown jewel of the collection, the private, undigitized, hand-drawn map of the 1840 Coastal Survey. It was our one, truly irreplaceable artifact. It was hand-drawn on vellum, the ink still perfect, the watercolors still bright. It was to me a sacred object. I had it laid out on the main research table, under a protective, non-acidic mat. I was explaining the provenance, my voice a low, reverent murmur. Leo was leaning over it, his eyes bright with a genuine, acquisitive gleam that I mistook for academic interest. He was also, in a move of pure, psychopathic carelessness, holding a large, steaming mug of black coffee. "Get that mug off the table," I said, my voice a low, dangerous hiss. "What?" "Oh yeah, hang on," he said, but he was too focused on the map. "This is it. This is the bay where they await." "What's that?" He leaned in further, and his elbow, in that one slow-motion, catastrophic moment, hit the base of the mug. It didn't just spill. It flipped. A perfect, dark, steaming arc of black coffee sailed through the air and landed, with a sickening, wet splash, right in the center of the 180-year-old, one-of-a-kind map. The world stopped. I didn't yell. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just froze. My entire professional life, my identity as a guardian, my one simple, primary function, it had just failed. This was the end of the world. I could hear a high-pitched, ringing sound in my ears. I was distantly aware that I was making a small, choked, whimpering sound, like a dying animal. My hands were locked at my sides. I was paralyzed by a horror so complete, it was almost religious. "Oh God! Oh shit!" Leo's voice was a panicked whisper. And then something in him snapped. His entire breezy, story hunter persona evaporated. He became a different person. He moved with a speed and precision I would not have thought possible. He didn't panic. He acted. Distilled water, he barked at me, his voice a sharp, hard command. Now, in the back. And blotter paper. Archival blotters. Where are they? I just stared at him, my mouth open, still making that awful sound. Gray, snap out of it. You are the only person who knows where that stuff is. I need it, right now, or this map is gone. Move. The command, the sheer, undeniable force of it, broke through my panic. I moved. I ran, my legs feeling like wood, to the preservation lab in the back. I grabbed the gallon jug of distilled water. I grabbed the stack of thick, cotton rag blotter sheets. When I got back, he had already rolled the heavy, antique globe off the map table. He was a general in a war room. Good, he said. He didn't apologize. He didn't freak out. He took the water. Pool. Slowly. Right over the stain. What? No. You'll spread it. I cried. It's vellum, not paper, you idiot. It's animal skin. It's non-porous if we're fast. We have to float the coffee off the surface before it soaks in. Pool. I did it. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the jug. I poured a slow, steady stream of clear water onto the 180-year-old map, right over the dark, spreading stain. It felt like a desecration. Blotter, he commanded. He didn't dab. He didn't rub. He rolled. He laid the blotter sheet down and, with a light, steady, practiced touch, he rolled a clean glass paperweight over it, lifting the water and the diluted coffee with it. He peeled it back. The stain was lighter. Again. Pool. We did this. For 10 agonizing, silent minutes. Pour, roll, lift. Pour, roll, lift. He was a surgeon. His hands, which I had written off as gesticulating, useless props, were steady as a rock. He was 100% focused, his charming smile gone, replaced by a look of grim, absolute concentration. He was saving it. Finally, he stopped. The stain was gone. Not faded. It was gone. The map was damp, and it smelled faintly of coffee, but it was perfect. Leo stepped back, his entire body slumping, the adrenaline visibly draining out of him. He was breathing hard. Okay, he panted. Okay. We need to press it flat while it dries. I just collapsed. I didn't faint. My legs gave out. I sat down hard on the old wooden library stool, and I put my head in my hands. My whole body was shaking with the aftershock. I, the guardian, the protector, the quiet man of facts, had completely, totally frozen. And the loud, messy, chaotic storyteller had just, with the hands of a surgeon, saved my entire world. He was quiet for a long time. I just sat there, my face in my hands, trying not to sob with shame and relief. I felt a hand on my shoulder. A heavy, solid, grounding hand. Hey, Dragon. I looked up. He was standing in front of me, his face pale, his leather jacket spattered with coffee and distilled water. He looked wrecked. Breathe, he said, his voice surprisingly gentle. It's okay. See? It's fine. It's all fine. I just froze. I whispered, my voice sounding like a stranger's. I'm supposed to be the one who. Yeah, he said, a small, tired smile on his face. You did. You totally freaked out. It was very human. Kinda nice to see, actually. I just stared at him. How did you? I motioned to the map, which was now safely sandwiched between a dozen blotter sheets. How did you know how to do that? He shrugged, walking over and pouring himself a glass of water from the carafe at my desk. His hands were shaking, now that it was over. I told you I wasn't just a talking head. I spent a year in Florence, working with art restorers. My first book. You can't just look at a 16th century manuscript, Ben. You have to know how to save it when it's falling apart. Sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to save the story. He took a long drink of water. You've spent your whole life trying to keep this stuff from ever being messy. But it's already messy. It's history. It's all messy. You're not a guardian. You're a zookeeper. You've got a bunch of sleeping lions, and you're terrified one of them might wake up. I just looked at him, at this man I had despised. He was right. So, he said, gesturing to the now safe map. The story. Can we get back to the story? I took a deep breath. I stood up. My legs were steady. I walked over to the map. You're wrong, I said. What? Your theory. About the treason. It's all wrong. I looked at him, and for the first time, I wasn't his keeper. I was his collaborator. You're looking for a political conspiracy, but you're looking in the wrong place. The story isn't about the mistress, and it's not about the rival. It's about his brother, the one who was lost at sea. He wasn't lost. He was here. I pointed to a tiny, almost invisible notation on the map, in the bay he had been looking at when he spilled the coffee. He was in hiding. Leo's eyes went wide. A slow, genuine, brilliant smile spread across his face. "Holy shit, Ben," he whispered. That's a way better story." "It's not a story," I said, but for the first time, the word didn't taste like poison. "It's the facts. Now come on. Let's go find the rest of the letters."